So you have a Garand, a Mosin Nagant, an M1 carbine, an Enfield rifle, a Mannlicher, a Mauser, and you say that you have the best military rifle on earth. Well, that's the point when the Swiss people come and say, hold my beer. The Swiss army was never considered the prime military power of Europe. Still, they had a formidable army. It was based on conscription from the middle of the 19th century, meaning that at a certain age everybody had to serve the army. After serving, they were placed in reserves for many decades more. They were all very, very good marksmen, and they had a beautiful rifle. The story of the Swiss rifle is strongly connected to the story of the Swiss freedom. This little country hiding among the tallest mountains of the Alps formed a confederation as early as 1291, but the United Standing Army of the Confederation was only established in 1848. Rifle shooting historically was both sport activity and a fundamental skill for defense. Swiss military rifles were among the best, or simply the best in Europe, up until the 1950s. It started with the model 1851 Feldstütze rifle being the first small-caliber military rifle ever accepted for service. This rifle had the flattest trajectory among all the 19th century muzzle-loading military rifles. The success story continued with the acceptance of the model 1869 Vetterli rifle being the first generally issued repeating rifle to fire a self-contained rimfire metallic cartridge, adopted in an age when repeating system was considered pure waste of ammo in most armies. Fighting the war in the mountains requires special strategy, special tactics and special firearms. As you often have to shoot uphill or downhill, your shooting distances are usually larger than usual, meaning you have to have an accurate rifle and you have to have a flat trajectory. Let me talk about the history of the Schmidt-Rubin rifles now. Mayor Eduard Rubin, director of the Thun munitions factory, started to work on an improved cartridge in 1881, aiming to replace the weak 10.4mm rimfire cartridge of the Vetterli rifles. He developed the 7.5mm cartridge with a copper-jacketed lead round-nose bullet loaded with a compressed charge of black powder. He even constructed a clumsy rifle around the cartridge with an action copying the Vetterli system. By the time the rifle and cartridge were put on trial, Mayor Rudolf Schmidt, director of the Federal Armory at Bern, was studying all the contemporary military rifle designs of Europe and worked on his own model of straight pull action inspired by the Mannlicher rifles. His straightforward rifle had a steel box magazine accepting 12 cartridges loaded by 2 full clips. The new cartridge, the Gewehrpatrone 1890 or 7.5 by 54.5, was charged with a single base smokeless powder, but the bullet was still a steel-capped, heeled lead bullet with paper patching, limiting the muzzle velocity to circa 400 meters per second. The adaptation of the small-caliber rifle cartridge loaded with smokeless powder and the small-caliber jacketed bullet multiplied the rifleman's range, meaning that from the beginning of the 20th century, a good rifleman could hit an enemy soldier at a distance of 500 yards. Schmidt's system was redesigned in 1911 to be able to adopt a larger pressure cartridge, the GP11 or 7.5 by 55 Swiss. The new cartridge was charged with smokeless powder and a lead-core boat-tail jacketed Spitzer bullet exiting the muzzle with 780 meters per second velocity. A pistol grip, a stronger locking system, new sights regulated from 300 to 2000 meters, and a shorter 6-round magazine was introduced to aid shooting from the prone position. The result was a much better rifle than any of the Mannlicher straight pull actions.
So I have my Schmidt-Rubin rifle here. It was made, well, in the time of the First World War. I have original military cartridges, GP11. It is G11. Well, probably the best repeating rifle of all. There is no question. Let's see if I can hit that steel plate at 450 meters or 500 yards. Let's have fun.
Now let's talk about actually why we love that cartridge and why we love that rifle, the Schmidt-Rubin rifles and the GP11 cartridges. There are actually 3 methods for loading the rifle. You can insert the cartridges one by one into the magazine through the ejection port. You can also insert a full magazine into the rifle, although spare magazines were not supplied to the soldiers. The third method is to use the loading clips made from pressed paper. They hold 6 rounds. The GP11 cartridge is still among the best military cartridges of the world. It has similar ballistics as the 308 with less pressure. It is loaded with a double base powder combining nitrocellulose with nitroglycerin. The 174.4 grain boat-tail Spitzer bullet has an excellent ballistic coefficient. The lead core is steel jacketed, plated with cupronickel that acts as a lubricant and corrosion protection. The case neck is crimped with a segmental crimp, increasing the bullet extraction force and resulting in uniform ignition. The neck is sealed with wax for hermetizing the case and lubricating the bullet. The primer is crimped with stabs and sealed with lac. So let's talk a bit about now why we actually love this rifle, because we love it very much. First of all, it is comfortable, very comfortable. It has a beautiful hold thanks to the pistol grip, very good balance, just excellent. Second, the trigger pull is excellent. It's like a sports rifle, breaks like glass. It could not be better, and it is like this on each and every single Schmidt-Rubin rifle I have ever handled. The straight pull action. It works. It is not like the Mannlicher M95, which stacks all the time. This is a delight to operate, comfortable and fast. The sights are far from your eyes, meaning that even if your eyes are weaker, you will get a clear sight picture, which we love very much. The barrel. It is a 4-grooved barrel with right-handed twist. The twist rate is 1 turn in 10.63 inches, so it is very close to the twist rates of the modern rifles. And it's a free-floating barrel, meaning that there are metal tubes that are actually holding the wood from touching the barrel. This is pretty much the same technology that we use on today's sniper rifles. But this is an excellent firearm. I really recommend it. And it's cheap, very cheap. Another very important feature of these rifles is that they never saw action. They were never in war, meaning that they were preserved in a beautiful state, in a beautiful condition. After military service, Swiss soldiers could buy their rifles. These are marked with the letter P on the receiver. My rifle was also bought by the soldier with the initials of TM. I wonder who he was. Let me show you now how this rifle performs at the very end of the open sight distance. I'm going to shoot it to 600 meters or 660 yards. Let's see.
I just want to show you how far 600 meters is. Let's check it. Do you see the target? No. Me neither.
If you don't see it, there's no need to panic, your eyes are still good. The 40 by 60 centimeter orange plate looks only like a little spot through the rear sights at this distance.
Now if 500 yards was not enough, then we move on to 600 meters, which is around 660 yards.
Jaj, gyerekek! Ez kurva jó játék!
feltámadt a szél. Plusz 20 centi kell neki.
Az nem baj, mert ilyet ritkán csinálsz, és szerintem nem tudja kidolgozni a parallax különbséget az célgőben, nézőgőben, meg a célt. Meg. Meg a célt.
Ah! És most napban vagyok.
Sok kell abba lenni. Az amúgy nem baj.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this old lady can still do the job. I just love this old military rifle. Comfortable, very good trigger pull, and accurate, very accurate.
I have shot many rifles in my life, including nearly all the repeating rifles of the First and Second World Wars. But all I can say is that the Schmidt-Rubin rifles just compete in a different class. They are far superior to any other repeaters of the age. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed this little presentation. If you like what I do, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there. If you wish and you can support me through Patreon. You can find the link under this video, but you can also buy your authentic American Civil War cartridge formers and cartridge boxes. The link to the eBay store is also visible under the video. So what more can I say? Until next time, stay cool and keep your powder dry.